My phone lit up at 2 in the morning. "You can't do this." It was my mother, screaming. All of Jenna's wedding photos are gone. Her Instagram, my blog, everything. I leaned back against my pillow and smiled. "Actually, I can. I own them." Silence. Then a sharper voice in the background. "My sister. She's lying." "I paid for those." I let the quiet hang for 3 full seconds. "No, Jenna, I did. And I have the contract to prove it." My mother's voice cracked. "This is family." "Exactly," I said. "So why did you crop me out of every single shot?" I hung up. Here's the thing about being invisible your whole life. Eventually you learn how to see everything. And when you're a lawyer who specializes in intellectual property, you learn how to own it. Want to know how the family scapegoat became the copyright holder of 247 wedding photos? Let me take you back. But first, drop your time zone in the comments. And if you've ever been the before picture in someone else's highlight reel, hit that like button. You're going to want to stay for this. I grew up in a house where beauty was currency. My mother ran a lifestyle blog. 10,000 followers when I was in middle school. 50,000 by the time I graduated high school. Every holiday was a photo shoot. Every birthday was content. And my sister Jenna? She was the face of it all. Perfect skin, perfect smile. The kind of girl who made pastels look expensive. I was the other one. The one my mom would pull aside before family pictures. "Honey, maybe stand in the back row. You're blocking the light." At my 8th grade graduation, she took 2 versions of the same photo. One with me, one without. Guess which one made it to the holiday card? Prom night, I came downstairs in a dress I'd saved for. My mother looked up from her camera. "Oh, well, we'll do a few with just Jenna and her date." "Yours is sweet, though." I stopped trying to be in the frame after that. I went to college across the country, studied hard, kept my head down. I graduated law school with honors and built a career in intellectual property law. Copyrights, trademarks, media rights, licensing. I learned one thing early. Document everything. Contracts are power. And I save everything. For 5 years, I kept my distance. Holidays via video call. Birthdays via text. Then one day, a cream-colored envelope showed up at my door. Jenna's engagement announcement. Embossed, calligraphied, the works. I knew what was coming. I just didn't know how low they'd go. 3 days after the invitation, my mother called. Her voice was warm, too warm. "Sweetheart, Jenna is so excited you'll be there." I waited. "We want to include you. In a meaningful way. Here it comes. We'd love for you to help coordinate logistics. You're so organized." Translation: I wasn't going to be a bridesmaid. I kept my voice even. "What kind of logistics?" She hesitated. "Well, the photographer is quite expensive. $8,000. We thought you might contribute. Since you're doing so well now." I blinked. "You want me to pay for the photographer?" "Half," she said quickly. "Just $4,000. As your gift." I let the silence stretch. "And what do I get in return?" Another pause. "Well, you'll be in the candids, of course." "Of course. But Jenna's vision is very curated. The formal portraits need to be cohesive. You understand." I understood perfectly. Pay $4,000 for a wedding where I'd be cropped out. Again. "Let me think about it," I said. "Don't take too long, honey. We need to confirm with Marco, the photographer, by next week." Marco. I wrote the name down. That night I did what I do best. I researched. Marco was young, talented, freelance. His portfolio was stunning, but his contract template was bare bones. He needed the work, and I needed leverage. So I made him an offer. I called my mother back 2 days later. "I'll pay the full $8,000. I heard her sharp intake of breath. "The full amount?" "Yes. Consider it my gift to Jenna." She actually laughed, delighted. "Oh, sweetheart, that's so generous." "I'll let Marco know." "Already done," I said. I contacted him directly. "Sent the payment yesterday." A beat. "Oh, well, that's fine. Thank you." She hung up before I could say anything else. The wedding day was beautiful. String quartet, garden ceremony. Jenna looked like she'd stepped out of a magazine. I wore a simple blue dress and sat in the fourth row. During family photos, my mother physically pulled me out of the lineup. Just immediate family for this one, honey. I was immediate family. My aunt whispered to my cousin, loud enough for me to hear. Why isn't she in any of these? My cousin shrugged. At the reception, Jenna stopped the photographer as he aimed his camera toward our table. Marco, focus on the bridesmaids. Make sure they look cohesive. She didn't even glance at me. I smiled, sipped my champagne, and went home early. That night, I sat in my apartment and stared at my ceiling. Maybe I'd always be the one they cropped out. Then I opened my laptop. The folder labeled Wedding had 3 files inside. I clicked the first one, and I remembered exactly who I was. Let me explain what my family didn't know. When I contacted Marco, I didn't offer to split the cost. I offered to pay the full $8,000. In exchange, I asked for one thing: full copyright ownership and exclusive licensing rights to every image he captured that day. Marco was confused at first. You want to own the photos? Not your sister? Exactly. I sent him a contract I drafted myself. Airtight. Notarized. He read it twice. Then he replied, I get it. Your family sounds rough. Let's make this official. He signed. I wired the money. My mother thought she was letting me contribute. Jenna thought she was getting free photos. What they actually got was nothing. Because when you pay a photographer, you don't automatically own the images. The photographer does, unless you negotiate a copyright transfer, which I did. My family paid $0. I paid $8,000. And every single picture from that wedding, every pose, every candid, every detail shot belonged to me. Not Jenna, not my mother, me. I didn't plan to use it. I just wanted to know I had control over something they took for granted. But then I saw what they did next. And everything changed. 2 weeks after the wedding, Jenna's Instagram exploded. A 12-photo carousel. Professional. Stunning. The caption read, Surrounded by my beautiful people. Grateful for this perfect day. #bridal goals. #sponsored. Sponsored. She'd partnered with a makeup brand. They were paying her to promote their products using her wedding photos. I scrolled through every image. I wasn't in a single one. 3 days later, my mother launched a blog series. How to Curate a Flawless Family Brand. Lessons from Jenna's Wedding. She sold Lightroom presets, decor guides, affiliate links, all using the photos. My name didn't appear once, not in the captions, not in the credits. I had been erased from the narrative entirely. Then the group chat started. My cousin sent a screenshot of Jenna's post to the extended family thread. Lol, did she even invite her sister? I don't see her anywhere, another cousin replied. She was there, I think. Maybe she left early. Someone else. Yikes. Awkward. I stared at my phone. They weren't just profiting off my exclusion. They were humiliating me in front of everyone we knew. I opened my notes app and typed a single line. 72 hours? I would give them 72 hours to take the photos down quietly. If they didn't, I'd do it for them. 71 hours later, Jenna posted another sponsored carousel. A skincare brand this time. I closed my laptop. Time was up. Before I acted, I needed to know exactly what I was dealing with. I checked Jenna's Instagram again. That's when I saw it. Someone had reported one of her photos. Probably a jealous follower. And Jenna had filed a counterclaim. Under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, you can dispute a takedown if you believe you own the content. Jenna claimed she did. I pulled up the filing. She'd written, I am the subject and the purchaser of these images. I own full rights. That was a lie. A documented, legally actionable lie. I pulled my bank records. $8,000. Wired to Marco. 2 weeks before the wedding. Then I checked my mother's account. I still had access from when I helped her set up online banking years ago. 0 payments to any photographer. Not a single dollar. I reached out to Marco one more time. Did anyone besides me pay you or contract with you for Jenna's wedding? His reply was immediate. No, just you. Want me to put that in writing? Please. He sent a notarized affidavit that afternoon. Now I had 3 things. A signed copyright agreement, bank records proving I was the only one who paid, and a false DMCA claim with Jenna's name on it. She hadn't just erased me. She'd tried to steal what I owned. That's when I stopped feeling sad and started feeling clear. I couldn't understand it at first. Why go this far? Why lie? Why risk legal trouble over wedding photos? So I did what any good lawyer does. I followed the money. Jenna's influencer career had always looked flawless from the outside. But I had access to tools most people don't. Credit monitoring. Public records. What I found was ugly. Jenna was $30,000 in debt. Credit cards maxed out. The wedding had cost nearly twice what she'd budgeted. The sponsored posts weren't just vanity. They were survival. She needed that makeup deal. That skincare partnership. Without the wedding content, her engagement was tanking. Then I looked at my mother. Her blog used to pull in decent affiliate revenue, but the numbers had been sliding for years. I found a screenshot she'd accidentally posted in a Facebook group, then deleted. Her dashboard showed $1,200 a month, declining. She needed the perfect family content to keep the algorithm happy, to keep the affiliate checks coming. The aesthetic wasn't about beauty. It was about bills, and I was the imperfection they couldn't afford to show. I sat with that for a long time. I understood them now. I even felt sorry for them. But understanding someone's motive doesn't mean you let them keep hurting you. I knew exactly what I had to do. I opened a new document and started typing. Notice of copyright infringement and demand for immediate removal. I listed every platform where the photos had been posted. Instagram, Facebook, my mother's blog, Jenna's portfolio site, even the shared family albums my aunts had reposted. 14 URLs, 9 social media accounts, 247 images total. I attached copies of my copyright agreement, the bank records, Marco's affidavit. Then I did something I don't do lightly. I hired a specialist, an intellectual property attorney who handles digital enforcement. She read my file and whistled. This is airtight. You want me to send takedown notices? Yes, but I want to give them one chance first. How long? 48 hours. She drafted a letter. Polite, professional, absolutely clear. Remove all images within 48 hours, or face formal DMCA takedown requests and potential statutory damages. I sent it to my mother and Jenna at the same time. Subject line, copyright enforcement, 48 hours. I didn't call. Didn't text. I wasn't going to argue. I was going to enforce. My mother replied within an hour. This is ridiculous. You're being cruel. Jenna sent a voice memo. You're seriously doing this? Over pictures? Grow up. I didn't respond. I just waited. 48 hours came and went. Not a single photo came down. So I showed them what power actually looks like. At 9 a.m. on the 49th hour, my attorney filed formal DMCA takedown requests. Instagram first, then Facebook, then the blog hosting platform. By noon, Jenna's wedding carousel was gone. Just gone, a gray box where 12 photos used to be. Content removed in response to a valid copyright claim. My mother's blog went down an hour later, suspended pending resolution of the infringement dispute. Jenna called me at 12:47 p.m. She was screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. What did you do? My posts are gone. The brand is asking questions. I waited until she ran out of breath. I enforced my copyright. You had 48 hours. You don't own those photos. Actually, I do. I sent you the contract. Did you read it? Silence. Then my mother's voice in the background. Let me talk to her. The phone shuffled. You are destroying this family. We'll sue you. I leaned back in my chair. You're welcome to try. I'll read you the relevant statute. I opened my laptop and pulled up the law. Under Title 17, Section 504, Statutory damages for willful copyright infringement range from $750 to $30,000 per work. I paused. You posted 247 images without my permission. That's a potential exposure of $185,000 on the low end. Dead silence. Or over $7 million on the high end. Would you like my attorney's contact information? My mother's voice was shaking now. This is insane. You're doing this over being left out of some pictures? No, I said quietly. I'm doing this because you erased me, profited from it, lied about ownership, and ignored a legal notice. Please. Jenna's voice now small. The makeup brand just canceled my contract. I'm losing everything. I took a breath. You had 48 hours. I hung up. 3 days later, my attorney received an email. They wanted to settle. I could have buried them. I had the law on my side, the evidence, the money for a long legal fight. But that's not who I am. I'm not interested in revenge. I'm interested in boundaries. So I offered a settlement. They would sign a binding agreement never to use the wedding images again. Not commercially, not publicly, not ever. In return, I would grant limited personal use. They could print photos for their own private albums. Nothing online, nothing for sale. And I would waive all damages. My attorney thought I was being too generous. But I didn't want their money. I wanted my dignity back. They signed within 24 hours. The fallout was immediate. My mother's blog never recovered. The suspension killed her SEO. Her affiliate partnerships dropped off one by one. She eventually pivoted to non-family content. Homemaking, recipes. Her tagline now reads, Rebuilding Authentically. Sue. There are no family photos on the site. Jenna lost both her brand deals. Her engagement tanked. The algorithm moved on. 6 months later, she took a corporate job, marketing coordinator at a mid-sized firm. She's offline now, living a normal life. I think it's the first real thing she's ever done. As for me, I reached out to Marco. I gave him permission to use 3 images in his portfolio. Not the formal portraits, the candids. The ones where I'm visible, smiling, in the background but present. He posted them with a caption, Real moments over perfect aesthetics. I also donated 1 photo to a nonprofit called the Visibility Project. They work with people who've experienced appearance-based discrimination. It's a picture of me at the reception, alone at my table, looking directly at the camera. It's not flattering, but it's honest. They used it in a fundraising campaign. It raised $42,000. I haven't spoken to my mother or Jenna in over a year. We don't do holidays together. We don't do birthdays. Last Thanksgiving, Jenna sent a text. I'm sorry. I wrote back. I know. That was it. I don't know if we'll ever repair things. But I know this. They tried to make me invisible. And I made myself undeniable. You can't crop someone out of their own worth. No filter in the world can erase that. Now I want to hear from you. Have you ever been the invisible one in your family? The one left out of the frame? Drop your story in the comments. And if you believe that boundaries aren't cruel, they're self-respect in action, hit that subscribe button. Because I've got more stories like this. And trust me, the receipts only get better. This has been a fictionalized dramatization and is not legal or financial advice. Thanks for watching.